We've got a few things to cover today. For the Ally, we've got an update to the BIOS to 322. I'll give you an update on the Hall effect joysticks. We've got some other mods being worked on, such as the joystick tension, and a website that's come up for some of the guides. The Steam summer sale continues. AYANEO gives us our first look at the AYANEO Kun, as well as the specs for the AYANEO Pocket Air. I'll also cover some cool accessories I received, and spotlight a community member's cool Etsy store. Welcome back everyone to another OKZOE Weekly Recap where we cover all things handheld PC gaming. All news or no news, we'll cover every brand. And don't forget, if you enjoy this video, do the OKZOE thing and boop that like button. And if you're enjoying the channel, subscribe below. Alright, let's jump into it. For the Ally this week, I have a few updates to go over for you guys. So the first one is that there was a new BIOS update. It's BIOS 322, and we have a few fixes in there. The first one is resolving an issue that caused the Ally to be stuck at the boot load-up screen when users configured a password in the BIOS mode. They also made some adjustments to the fan curve, so when plugged in, the fan curve is now at 35 instead of 30 dBA. And for turbo mode on battery power, they've taken it from 25 up to 30. We also got an update through Armory Crate where we got a few changes here. So we have UX improvements that change the panel opacity, that makes it look a little bit better. A new feature was modified FPS limiter options for 30, 45, 60, 90, and 120, as well as turning it off. They added an option where you could see your BIOS version in Armory Crate under system settings. There was also a few bug fixes, the first one being the incorrect TDP values shown on the manual mode icon. They resolved an issue with uploading images to social media. They resolved another issue with an error code that showed up. I'm not sure what that error code was for, but they resolved it. They also added a new feature that's Alt F4, so that's so you can exit games or programs really quickly. So my suggestion is to map this to one of the back buttons, and if the game is just really not going well, just tap that sucker. Just rage quit that game. It's now easier than ever. I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the Hall effect joystick mod that I've been working on. So for those that haven't seen it, I put out a video where I put Hall effect joysticks in my Ally and was able to test it out. We found that there was some interference between the left trigger and the left analog stick. And for those that have been chatting with me in the comments or in the Discord servers, I did manage to mitigate most of it with a small magnet that I got from an Xbox Elite D-pad. So it sounds like I have a fix, but why is it taking me so long to get this video out? Well, I wanted to give you guys an update on that. So my Ally, I think I had mentioned it last week, I actually had issues with the SD card slot, so I had to return and exchange it for a new one. And because of that, I was a little delayed in my video schedule, so I had to finish a few videos that I'd already committed to doing, and now I'm finally getting around to finishing up that video. So I have finished the mod and found that it behaves a little bit different on my new Ally, so it's not quite the same solution as it was on my old one. So the dead zone is different. It's most of the time it's 0, but every now and then if I move it a little bit and then press the trigger, it'll interfere very, very slightly. So just be aware, anyone that's looking to do this mod, that you may get a different result than me using the same stuff. And know that this is not a perfect solution. It's something that we'll have to work on together as a community. So now that you're up to speed, I'm hoping to put out the video on Monday or at worst case scenario on Wednesday. So stay tuned to the channel and you should see the video pop up. So while we're on the topic of joysticks, the number one question I got in that video, and I keep seeing it on Reddit, on Discord, on the YouTube comments, has been, what is the tension like of the Hall effect joysticks versus the original? So they feel identical, which from what I've gathered, a lot of people want more tension in their joystick. So Technome, he's a guy that's been doing some modification on his Ally, actually has been playing around with his joysticks and seeing what he can do. So he's taken one apart and has taken a look to see if there's ways to adjust it. He was able to get a little bit more tension by adding a washer between the spring and the stick, but found that the L3 and R3 were a little bit different on how they felt when you push them. So there's not going to be an exact perfect solution here. So I'm probably going to work with him a little bit and see if we can together come up with another solution, or maybe I'll do a video for that solution that he's come up with. The next thing that we're hoping to try is I have a few extra spare Xbox modules that I'm going to take apart, take a look at the spring and see if I can replace the spring from the original joystick from the Ally with an Xbox one to see if it increases the tension. So I hear you guys. You guys want more tension in the joystick. Thankfully, Technome's been hard at work and I'm hoping to join him on that as well. If we're able to come up with a good solution, I'll make it into a video and show you exactly what we did. Keep in mind though, this modification is probably one that's going to be quite difficult, so it's not recommended for most people to take on unless it's something that you're comfortable with. And certainly I would recommend practicing on a spare set from AliExpress because they're really cheap. Don't take apart your Hall Effect joysticks until you've successfully done it on a cheaper one because the Hall Effect ones are more expensive. While we're on the topic of mods, Technome has put together a website for some of the mods that he's been working on. So I'll drop that in the video description. Feel free to check it out. And very soon I'll also be launching OKZgamer.com, where I'm hoping to provide some resources for the tutorials that I put out so that you can have something to follow along and see a written guide for it as well. One other thing is I had this accessory sent to me that I thought was pretty cool. So it's a bracket that connects to your Ally and it's 3D printed, but I can barely tell that it's been 3D printed. Like the quality is really well done. So anyway, it uses the accessories for the deck mate. So I'm sure you guys have heard of that. If not, give it a look. There's tons of accessories you can print out yourself and attach. So this one in particular came with a kickstand, so it's just a little bracket and a kickstand that's kind of nice to have. I don't have to use that paper ROG thing that came with the device. And it just looks cool. So if you're interested in this, check out breedgaming.com. He just started a website and is starting to make 3D prints and accessories, so check it out, maybe follow him. I'm sure he's going to have some more stuff coming soon. And if anyone in the community makes accessories or these kind of things, maybe 3D prints, feel free to let me know. I'll gladly give a shout out on my videos and show somebody what the product is. You don't have to send me the product if you would like. I can do that and I could show it a little bit more thoroughly. But if not, you could just send me some pictures on your website and I'll gladly spotlight it in these videos for you. One community member you should definitely check out his Etsy store is DinoMeetsDonut. He has a bunch of handheld accessories that he 3D prints. I go over some of his stuff in the GPD section of the video, but I also got this cool little gift from him that I thought was super cool, just a little OKZgamer plaque. So thanks again, DinoMeetsDonut, for sending me these and letting me try them out. So if anyone's looking for any 3D printed accessories, definitely reach out to DinoMeetsDonut on his Etsy store. You can also chat with him in the OKZgamer Discord server. His name is Donuts at Work. So one last update is I've been watching the SD card situation, looking for updates, and unfortunately right now we don't have any further updates from ASUS. They haven't been able to replicate it on any of their test devices. I'm sure with some of the returns that are coming back for people that have had the issue, they should hopefully be able to get down to the source of it, and then whether it's a software issue or hardware, maybe get to addressing it. But of course, I'll continue to follow it and I'll give you guys an update when I hear more. So that's going to wrap it up for the Ally section of this video. Let's move on to the Steam Deck. I've got a few updates for the Steam Deck this week. So the first one is that the Steam Summer Sale is still on. It's on until the 13th. So if you're looking to add some games to your library that you'll never get to play, head on over to Steam and check out some good sales. We also have a deal on the Steam Deck itself, so you can get 10% off for the 64GB model, 15% off for the 256, or 20% off for the 512. We did also get some software updates. I'm not going to go super in depth. They were all to the beta client. So on July 3rd, there was some in-game overlay fixes. It just fixes some preview screens that weren't being displayed proper, as well as some fixes to the desktop mode. Same thing for the 5th, we had more desktop fixes, just some bugs that are basically across the board here. And then same thing on the 6th, more general bug fixes as well as some desktop mode fixes. And that's all I've got this week for the Steam Deck. Let's head over to AOKZOE. For AOKZOE this week, I only have one update for you, and that's that AOKZOE has announced that all A1 Pros have now shipped out to the backers. If you ordered an A1 Pro, how are you enjoying it? Let's discuss that in the comments or head over to the OKZgamer Discord. That's all I've got for AOKZOE this week, so let's head on over to OneXPlayer. I don't have a ton to go over this week for OneXPlayer. We did, however, get some photos shared in the Discord server showing a playtest conference that was held in China, where people could come learn about the device and actually try it in person. Aside from that, we can likely expect the Indiegogo campaign to go live sometime in the later half of July, so stay tuned to the channel for more information on that, and I'll keep you guys up to date as I learn more. You can also sign up for updates for their Indiegogo campaign, and I'll leave a link in the video description, so check that one out if you'd like to be kept up to date. And that's all I've got for OneXPlayer this week, so let's move on to AYANEO. For AYN, we have some unfortunate news of a delay for the Loki and the Loki Max, the second batch that was going to go out. It seems that the delay is due to the screen supplier not being able to meet the timeline. We've been told that the shipping will occur, but we don't have an exact date. There is a little bit of news though for those that already received their device, so the drivers have now been made available and you can find them on AYN's server. You can find a link to the Discord in the video description. And that's really it for AYN this week. I'll keep you guys up to date as I learn more about the shipping situation. Hopefully it's resolved soon so that everybody could get their device. Okay, so let's move on to AYANEO. We have a few things to go over today for AYANEO. First of all, we got our first look at the AYANEO Kun. We can see that it's a large device sporting a 8.4-inch display. It weighs over 900 grams, has a 75 watt-hour battery, as well as 2 trackpads on the front. Looking at the rear side of the device, we can see that there's 4 buttons. I'm going to guess they're going to be programmable, similar to the Steam Deck. We don't know the specs of the device, but they do say that it's going to be the most powerful Windows handheld yet, so my guess would be a Ryzen 7 7840 and possibly a DGPU. We should be getting more information soon, as they say the Indiegogo will be coming shortly. We also got some more information for the AYANEO Pocket Air. We found out that we can pre-order it in July and it's going to be shipping out in August. We also got the full specs for the device. Let's go over that quickly. The size is 224 by 89.5 by 17 millimeters. The weight is about 380 grams. The CPU is a MediaTek Dimensity 1200. The screen is a 5.5-inch AMOLED display. It will use the master controller with Hall effect joysticks and Hall triggers. It has an X-axis linear motor, gyroscope built in, a fingerprint reader integrated into the power button. It has the SoundTap Magic audio vibration system, dual mics, a 3.5mm headphone jack, a 7350 mAh battery, and is running Android 12 with the iHome launcher. Right as I was finishing editing this video, we actually got an announcement from AYANEO that they're going to be hosting a live event for the AYANEO 1S, and that's going to be happening just a few hours before this video goes live. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to cover that today, but I will cover it in next week's video. But I'll leave a link to their campaign as well as to the YouTube link that they provided where you can watch the event live. And lastly, AYANEO has a sale on a few of their devices. The AYANEO 2 is 20% off right now. The AYANEO Air B.Duck edition is 30% off, as well as the AYANEO Air Pro for 30% off as well. I'll leave links in the video description. They are affiliate. If you'd prefer not to use affiliate, you can visit their web store as well. And that'll do it for AYANEO. Let's move on to GPD. I don't really have many updates for GPD this week. I don't have any more device information for the Win Mini or for the 7840 Win 4. We're also still waiting for the GPD G1 campaign to start, so I'm gonna guess sometime this week, but we'll have to wait and see. One thing I did want to share is that if you're looking for any 3D printed accessories for your Win 4, check out DinoMeetsDonut. He's a member of our little community and he sent me some stuff to try out and it's actually pretty cool. He sent me a grip for the Win 4 that's actually pretty cool. So at one angle it's green, at the other angle it's blue, and it has this little cover that you can put on it so you could just throw it in a bag and it'll be protected on the front and the back. So I've left a link for his Etsy store in the video description, so check it out. He probably could do some custom stuff if you have the 3D print models ready for him. And that's it for GPD this week. And that's it for this week's recap. I hope you enjoyed it and thank you for watching.